Sam Maurice from the Home-Based Business Expo, standing to my right. Got Tim Haystuff, this is Liz Dakota, and this is Brad Weldy. We're going to talk to you guys about the campaign that we ran for our client, Derek Romo, this semester. Liz is going to talk to you guys about the background, a little bit more about the information we spoke about previous to the beginning of the campaign.
The Work at Home Business Expo was established about 4 years ago by a gentleman named Derek Romo. He started the expo to help people, individuals like us, to learn about different models on how to start your at-home business from home. There's a variety of locations. There's one in Los Angeles, San Diego, which is the Del Mar Fairgrounds. That's the one we were a part of that we helped with the new campaign. And then there also is one in San Francisco. Usually the founder and producer, Derek Romo, he started his own at-home business in 1986, and he's had 20 years of experience with consumer trade shows as well as other expos and event planning. The attendees that the Work at Home Business Expo sees is about 1,200 to 1,800 individuals. Last year had about the same amount of members. This year we noticed that the target audience that we targeted, which was ages 21 to 35, we noticed there was about this, not as much people in that age group attended the Work at Home Business Expo. It still remained about the same attendees as before, which is primarily women ages 35 to 55. The forms of advertising that the Work at Home Business Expo uses is traditional, billboard, radio, and cable television, so it doesn't really hit that target audience that we were trying to reach, and that's why we went with the internet advertising approach. Tim is going to go over some strengths, weaknesses, threats, and opportunities.
Yeah, so starting with strengths, the Work at Home Business Expo is one of a kind. There's no other kinds of like at-home business expos out there, so I mean, for it being a niche market, there's no competitors, so it makes it much better to stand out. And then there's a possibility of expansion. I mean, there's already 3 expos going on in 3 different cities, so it's possible for it to expand from what it already is. And one of the sponsors, there's a big name sponsor, GoDaddy, which is a website hosting company. And for weaknesses, the Work at Home Business Expo has a lack of an advertising budget. So basically when we were running our campaign, we didn't really have much of a budget, if at all. And the current ads, like Alyssa said earlier, on radio, billboard, and cable TV don't really appeal to or don't really reach our target audience, since most of our target audience spends more time on the internet than watching TV or listening to the radio. And for opportunities, because it's a niche market, there's room in the market for, expansion, and it could be national. And for threats, the Work at Home Business Expo, at least the one that we were working on in Del Mar, the median income is $169,000, and that was at the height of the recession. So, I mean, people living in Del Mar making that much money aren't really likely to look at home-based business expo ideas. And only about 600 people fall into our target audience range. And finally, the last threat that we had for our campaign was the distance from San Diego, which is the closest major city, and it was about a 30-minute drive, which is pretty far. And from the Cal State Fullerton Irvine campus, it was an hour and 17 minutes without traffic. Right, and Brad's going to talk about our goals and objectives.
Well, one of our main goals was to attract a younger audience. Our target was 20 to 35-year-olds, so the client thought that we would be a good fit to help him advertise for the youth. Like Alyssa said, when we attended the event, it was mostly women had all kinds of ideas in order to help spread awareness to the target. First of all, we did do some research. 85 to 95% of college students use Facebook, and if they're not college students, about 54% are using Facebook anyhow. Some of our objectives were to attract 15 new attendees to the expo that would fit our target demographic. And we were constantly in close communication with Derek, the client, in order to show him the tools that we were using in order to attract our target, such as Facebook and Facebook Insights and Google Analytics to analyze not only our webpage, our landing page, but also his webpage. We did create a landing page, which unfortunately never launched. We thought that it was tailored to our demographic and they would have been more likely to click attend had they seen it. But anyhow, we did keep in touch with Derek throughout every step of the campaign, and we taught him how to use many tools, not just Facebook Insights and Google Analytics, but also Skype and InMeeting.
Strategies and tactics. Okay, so I want to talk about real quick. We were actually approaching this from several different ways. First way we were approaching it was through obviously the Facebook campaign, which obviously, you know, a lot of clients, I feel like nowadays think that Facebook will get a younger target audience just because it's Facebook and we're the younger target audience using Facebook. But that's really not the case. We did want to approach it with Facebook and bring his social media presence up. We definitely showed him how to use the mediums that he hasn't been using before that does attract a younger target audience. I got on a phone call with him and we basically walked him through setting up a Facebook campaign that was a 50-mile radius. We actually expanded it after a while. We got him a $100 coupon through Facebook. Facebook offers a $100 coupon. Never advertised with them before. So that's how we ran the campaign. So basically with the $100 budget, and we had 28 days, the campaign budget gets depleted quick. Has anyone used Facebook ads here? PPC, pay-per-click? Okay, so $100 to manage between that long at $1.35 cost per click, you're looking at your clicks getting depleted very quickly. Now, you know, I wish that was the case, but we only had 600 people in our target demographic. But if you look at click-through rates and all that stuff, we look at click-through rates. You know, click-through rates on Facebook are fairly low, and you know, we got about 26 social actions on Facebook, meaning that people within our target audience that we were targeting within that 50-mile radius actually clicked that they were attending or actually engaged with the Facebook event page. Attending maybe or not attending, one of the three. Also, as far as the other Facebook campaign we also ran a Facebook campaign for his like page, also targeted towards the same target demographic, which was, you know, 21 to 35. Also, again, we got about 16 social actions on that one, so 16 likes on the Facebook campaign. And after that, also simultaneously, we ran a Google AdWords campaign. There was a lot of tricks with the Google AdWords campaign that we haven't encountered or experienced before. We basically ran Derek through running a Google AdWords campaign as well with a 50-mile radius within Del Mar, within our target audience as well as also an AdSense campaign. However, what we wanted to do was in the text out of the campaign, we wanted to actually advertise that GoDaddy was going to be there doing website tune-ups. GoDaddy's trademark lawyers at the time told us that they didn't have enough turnaround to give us approval for the text ad that was to be put on Google AdWords. So we gained a lot of experience by putting Google on the line. We had Google on one line, we had GoDaddy's trademark lawyers on the other line, trying to get our text ad approved to hit the Google AdWords campaign running. But you know, unfortunately, GoDaddy's lawyers ended up saying that they couldn't approve it in a timely fashion, and they basically didn't give us the written consent to use GoDaddy in the text ad. So that also kind of stifled the Google AdWords campaign. We think that we would have had a higher click-through rate had we were able to use GoDaddy, advertise GoDaddy's name inside the text ad for the Google AdWords campaign. So, but regardless, nonetheless, the experience, obviously, you know, we never got on the phone with GoDaddy trademark lawyers before. We never ran a Google AdWords campaign where we had to get on the phone with Google, put both parties together. So now we know that you need more time, obviously, to run a campaign like this, especially when working with companies like GoDaddy. They gotta approve everything. Reputation is everything. And honestly, our text ad didn't read what I think they wanted it to read, really, to be honest with you, at the end of the day. So we couldn't get that up in a timely manner. We switched it up. Didn't use GoDaddy in the AdWords campaign. We had to be on our feet, so we stayed versatile. We used a different text ad. We ran 2 different text ads at 2 different times. And we garnered, I think, what was the total of clicks? I think it was garnered about a total of 56 clicks. Now, the problem with this text ad also, the clicks that we garnered, is that Derek had technical difficulties uploading the landing page onto his site, which was the Be Your Own Boss Young Adults landing page. So really, at the end of the day, when these people were actually going to his website, there was no material or content geared towards our target demographic on his website. We offered to log into the back end of his website ourselves to upload the landing page, and he didn't feel comfortable with that, so we were going back and forth trying to get it up, but it never materialized. So again, you know, that was potential wasted visitors that were in our target demographic that were coming to his website from the AdWords campaign.
We also wanted to write on GoDaddy's blog, but we learned that they are difficult to, it's difficult to approve anything with them. It's hard to reach anybody, and then when you do, they tell you that they need to get confirmation from somebody else. So we tried to write on their blog and use their name on the Work at Home Business Expo blog as well. He did have a PR lady that wrote some press releases, and 2 of those were sent out. But I don't think that the client wanted to pay for it to be sent out to Business Newswire or to.
So basically, with the press releases, we really recommended the client that we write a press release for him. Instead, the client actually had his PR lady write a press release. We got on the phone with the client after we told him that he should have sent it through, more relevant mediums. I mean, in his business model, his name is Home-Based Business Expo, so I was thinking the best way to send a press release for Home-Based Business Expo is through Business Wire. If anyone's ever used Business Wire, it's kind of press releases for businesses. I think it made perfect sense. Instead, she actually sent it through a different medium, which wasn't distributed among enough channels, we feel like. But we did read the press release. He had us read it, approve it, send it back, all that type of good stuff. But unfortunately, he didn't have the resources for us to write our own press release, which we would have liked to do through PR Newswire or Business Wire. So that wasn't something that we were able to do. But again, we would have liked to do that. We would have think that would have boosted our campaign's presence a lot more, because he's nowhere to be found when you type in home-based business if you do that on a search or a news search on Google News Search, Yahoo News Search, or any of the above.
Sam, why don't you talk about the geo-targeted campaign and how we expanded it towards the end?
Okay, yeah, the geo-targeted campaign, again, it was a 50-mile radius. There's only 600 people in our target demographic. No one was clicking on the ad, so we said, hey, you know what, let's take a deal on a 50-mile radius. Let's move to a 100-mile radius, try to get more people, try to get more social activity. We move into a 100-mile radius, even though we think that nobody's going to be willing to drive more than 50 miles to attend the Home-Based Business Expo. We're still going to move into a larger radius so we can get a higher target demographic. We did see the percentage of clicks come up a little bit, but again, we don't think that those were the most relevant clicks, because they wouldn't have translated to people coming through. That was more just to build awareness, to go ahead and take it beyond the 50-mile radius, just build awareness about the event. So at the end, our team feels like we left Derek off with the tools to be able to take this to other cities, not only to take it to other cities, and we actually gave him the tools and showed him how to use the mediums that he needs to be using to capture the target demographic that he needs to capture, or that he wants to capture. So, at the end of the day, basically, we left the ball in his court. If he wants to invest or, change the trajectory of his marketing dollars from radio and television and some of the more traditional forms of advertisement, if he wants to put something in Facebook and Google AdWords, and change the location, obviously, of the expo, because we feel like that was also a big threat. Change the location to maybe a little bit, more medium income area. I think that, we gave him the proper tools that he needs to, take this wherever he needs to go with it.
And within our targeted demographic, we felt like schools that were in the surrounding area, like San Diego State, USD, and UC San Diego, all 3 of them had entrepreneur departments, and we emailed them to alert their department as to the event that was going on. We let Derek know that too, because I think that those are definitely people from within our
think practical advantage to run a campaign for Derek Romo again. Honestly, I would say if it's more localized, I definitely do think that practical advantage should run a campaign for him again. But I think that we showed him to the point that, I feel like he wanted to fire his PR lady at one point, really. To be honest with you guys, we'll just, keep it real quick. I feel like he wanted to fire his PR lady because he didn't know anything about Google AdWords. He didn't know how many people were typing in home-based business. His permalink on Facebook was in a shambles, so we changed his permalink to something that's searched on 9,900 times a month. It's not the best one. Obviously, all the big ones were gone, like facebook.com/home-based business, facebook.com. So we got home-based business ideas that's already boosted his traffic on his social media, and and it was an easy fix. It was a 5-minute fix. But again, we gave him the insight. I feel like, he would probably want to continue with us for sure. That's for sure. He'd probably want to continue with us, but at the same time, I feel like we should continue with him if he brings it a little more local and obviously throws us a little bit of budget to play with, so we can get him a little more attendees in his target audience. Because without a budget, without any resources, it's pretty hard to go anywhere with a campaign like this.
I think that he learned a little bit more about that too.
Yeah.
And he certainly does know a lot more about how to run a campaign online, whereas before he was unfamiliar with Skype.
And I think if we had a little bit more time, then it would have been easier for us to do more. But the time constraint that we had was a little bit